The final week of the NBA season is here, and key questions revolve around playoff positioning. So let's talk about the biggest questions and storylines with the great podcaster from True Hoop. His name is the one and only Jarod Hector, and he joins me now. Jarod, what is going on? I don't know about you, but this season, it feels like it's flown by.
You know what's so funny? I was just going to tell you, also, Dexter, thank you for having me. Always good to be with you talking NBA. I was just going to say, damn, we finally got here. It's been so long.
You know what? Because the last month has felt like, all right, can we just get to the end of the
Yes,
season and to the
yes,
playoffs? Like
yes,
all of us who love the NBA have wanted that to happen, and here
yes.
we are now. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're right at the end. But Gerard, entering play on Sunday, teams in the 3 to 8 spots in the West. Because I wanted to start with the Western Conference. They are separated by a game and a half. So it's all crazy right now. Which teams do you like to get spots 3 to 6 to actually make the playoffs, not be in the play-in in the
Yeah.
West? Which teams do you like to finish in those 3 to 6 spots?
Well, Dexter, you know me long enough to know how I value youth and young teams and their ability to rotate players and, young legs generally help you win. But I'm going to say, as it relates to teams that make it into the playoffs, those 3 through 6 seeds, I'm going to give it to the old guys, the Lakers, Nuggets, Warriors, and Clippers. Those teams, I think, will wind up in the 3 through 6 spots.
Teams you think will wind up in the 3 to 6 spots, going with the veteran teams out there that seem like they still have a little bit left. Let's keep it out west because the Rockets, they're in a strong position to secure the 2 seed. You talked about a young team. They are a very young team with some young legs. So how good do you believe this Rockets squad can be in the postseason?
Well, excellent because they do one thing extremely well, and that is guard. They are elite on defense, of course, led by Amen Thompson, but that whole squad, Ime Udoka, has got them playing exceptional defense. And I just like their grit and their ability to they value every possession. And so I believe that team will be a formidable out in the postseason. Now, as the 2 seed, right? Like they're going to get the 7, and for them, you're looking at probably the Wolves or the Grizzlies, and they're 2-2 against the Wolves, right? But they were 3-1 against the Grizzlies this year. But I see the series against either of those teams going long, 6, 7 games. I would give the Rockets a slight edge because again, they have home field or home court, excuse me, and they were 2-2, as I said, against the Rockets and 3-1 against the Grizzlies. But I think those other 2 teams could give them problems. So I see that being a 6, 7 game series if they end up playing one of those 2 teams, which they probably will.
I think a lot of NBA fans would sign for either of those series as one of the first round matchups. Those would be pretty exciting here. Let's bring it locally here in New York with the Knicks. They're looking to wrap up the 3 seed in the East. Now, they could likely play either the Pistons if they get the 3 seed or the Bucks. So, which Central Division team do you think is the best first round matchup for the Knickerbockers?
Now, of course, you would say the Pistons because they're playoff neophytes, right?
Right.
But let me remind everybody this team won 14 games last year. 14. And they are now a playoff team. So they are the definition of playing with house money. And they are young. And, Coach Bickerstaff has got those guys playing well. They have nothing to lose. The pressure will be all on the Knicks in this series. They're going to be expected to win and favored to win, as they should be. But if that series gets long or things get tight, the pressure is squarely on them. The Pistons just out here having fun. Now, as far as the Bucks go, 3-0 against them this season. I feel like you're a lot less worried about the Bucks if you're the New York Knicks. Yes, they do have Giannis Antetokounmpo, but Giannis by himself, as much as he can be the best player in that series in terms of raw numbers, I just don't know if the rest of that Buck squad around him will be enough. I know Dame's still working to come back off the injury, blood clot, deep vein thrombosis. I don't know what he's going to be like come the postseason if he's going to be ready to be at full tilt. So either way, the Knicks are favored in either series. My guess is if you're a Knicks fan, you probably want the Bucks.
All right, Knicks fans. I've been hearing that. Knicks fans saying that they would like to see the Bucks. Some people want to run away from the smoke with the Pistons. Pistons are dangerous. Got to respect them. But the Knicks, like you said, they would be favored in that one as well. Now, we know who the play-in tournament teams will be in the East, but seedings and matchups still yet to be determined there. Out West, none of the play-in berths have yet to be determined. So who do you think will be on the outside looking in when it comes to the West play-in spots?
Oh, Dexter, the Suns are cooked. Like they're
Done.
already
Okay.
the Suns are cooked. First of all, Durant's still out with an injury, and he has not even done on court work yet to get back. And they've got what 4 games left, 5 games. I just not enough time. And this look, Medishby, I think is realizing this. Let me go ahead and get 3 stars and put all. It's just not going to work. I think it is literally time to blow it up in Phoenix. I just don't see a pathway where they make it, especially because their games this week. They do have the Warriors on their schedule this week. Might even have the Grizzlies another time this week. I'm not sure. Either way, two teams that are still fighting for their seeding above them, who are going to play hard and who are playing well, at least on the Warriors side, way better than the Suns are playing right now. So I think the Suns are cooked.
Suns on the outside looking in. A lot of expectations. They started off this season pretty strong. For I think it was first 8 games, they were 8-1, and it's not gone well since then. Last thing for me, Jarod, heading into this final week, which team outside of the top 2 seeds in each conference do you believe is the most dangerous to make some noise in the postseason?
I'm going to stay out west with this one, and I'm going to cheat, Dexter. All 3 teams are out west, and it's the old guys, the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Lakers. And I hate to say it because in so many ways I'm so done, particularly with the Warriors. I'm just done with these squads. But the Warriors' biggest struggle was what do they do when they put Steph Curry on the bench, right? That's the biggest thing. It's like, man, they lose leads. The on-off numbers are crazy. Well, what do they go out and do? They got Jimmy Butler as an overqualified, right, number 2, because we've seen him as a number 1 on a team that went to the NBA Finals, an overqualified number 2 who can not only stem the tide when Steph is out of the game, but can actually increase the lead. And he is someone, Dexter, who one of the things that the advantages that older teams have in the playoffs over younger teams is that in close games, the older team's ability to execute matters, and that's due to a number of factors. One factor, of course, being just the knowledge and the recall. They've seen everything. They've done it a million times. They just know. The other thing is ref games, right? They have the ability to manipulate and control referees in the sense that it looks like a foul to me, ref, right? And all the games that the vets know how to play to get young teams to commit fouls. And the Warriors have maybe 2 of the best in Jimmy and Draymond Green, who'll be working the referees from literally tip-off of game 1. So my point is, if you are playing any of these teams and it is close, I'm not liking that for you. I would hope that you're up 15-20 so that ref games don't matter and that late game execution doesn't matter, because if the game is close, a team like the Warriors, and of course I mentioned the Lakers, I mean, Luka Doncic might be the best problem solver on the earth, not named LeBron James. And oh wait, LeBron James is also on that team.
Right.
So those guys can be the best on the floor in any scenario, and that typically allows you to win, especially when you have players like Luka and LeBron, who not only can score whenever they want, pass whoever, rebound, all that, they control the tempo of the game. And that's just a skill set that a lot of young teams and young players have not mastered yet, and these guys are the best at it.
What's interesting is all the old teams that you mentioned, or seasoned teams, we shall say, some of those teams, they could play each other in the first round depending on how things shake out. Could be the Lakers versus the Warriors versus Clippers. It's going to be very interesting to how those things shake out. But we'll see how it all shakes out over the final week of the NBA season. The NBA season concludes next Sunday, which should be a nice finale to the season. Then it's playoff time, which makes Jarod Hector of True Hoop very happy. Go check out Jarod's work with True Hoop. Jarod, always a pleasure. We are almost there at the finish line, and I'll see you in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.